United States for his statement. I now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to start by congratulating you personally and all the women staff members of the UN Secretariat and those accredited with the UN permanent missions with the International Women's Day. It is precisely due to this wonderful holiday that my colleagues, based on Russian tradition, have offered you a bouquet of flowers. It's quite symbolic that the origins of this holiday took form in New York when on the 8th of March 1857 women took the streets to protest, demanding equality with men. And I would like to thank our German colleagues and our personally my friend Richard Heusen, whose forebear in fact, suggested creating this holiday. We've always paid a great deal of attention and care to women, and we began to mark this holiday back in 1913. After the October Revolution of 1917, our country became one of the leaders of the women's movement. We declared this national holiday at the state level in 1965, and then the republics of the USSR continued their efforts to improve the condition of women. And in 1965, as we know, this International Women's Day became a UN holiday. Since then, Russia has done quite a lot around the world to achieve gender equality and expand the rights and opportunities of women. However, of course, a lot remains to be done. Russia will continue efforts to improve the condition of women and ensure equal rights and opportunities for men and women. At the same time, we value women also for their femininity and their kindness, and we don't try to compete with them in that. It is precisely the harmony of the sexes and their interdependence and that Russian society is built on. Now, to go back to the topic of our discussion, we would like to thank Special Representative of the Secretary General, Mr. Scher, and Madam Angelina Gile, who I would also like to congratulate with the 8th of March, for their briefing on the situation in South Sudan as well as the course of the South Sudanese peace process. When we look at the past year, we believe that the main event was the signature of the revitalized peace agreement between the parties to the conflict in South Sudan, and it's important that the South Sudanese actors in the conflict have demonstrated their readiness to compromise and their wish to iron out their differences. We welcome the significant progress that we're seeing in implementing the agreements reached, and note in this connection the formation and the beginning of operation of the entities and mechanisms envisioned in the agreement. We're satisfied that after the signature of the revitalized agreement, we're witnessing a significant decrease in the level of violence as well as a number of cases of violations of human rights. More and more refugees and IDPs have expressed the wish to return to their homes. We believe that this is due to implementing of confidence-building measures among the warring parties on the ground. It's important that thanks to the conditions of security created by the authorities, opposition politicians have already returning to the capital and moving around freely, including the intention of the opposition leader Riek Machar to return to Juba in the near future. We would like to echo the appeal addressed to the South Sudanese parties to finally formalize the arrangements on security issues and complete the process of introducing amendments to the Constitution. We believe that only a full and comprehensive compliance by the parties with the commitments undertaken will make it possible to enhance mutual trust and prevent the repetition of mistakes that were made in the course of the peace process in the past. Madam President, we would like to once again pay tribute to the coordinated mediation efforts of IGAD states who initiated and ensured a productive negotiation process in Khartoum from June to August, as well as the signature of the very important documents in the peace process. We highly value the personal contribution of President of Sudan, Omar Bashir, in achieving the peace agreements. We note that the regional players have demonstrated a unity of approaches in the South Sudanese peace process, and this has been maintained. This is extremely important for the future support of the peace process. We do not share the view of a number of Western colleagues who claim that the start of progress in the South Sudanese peace process is in part possible due to the increase in the sanctions pressure on the Republic of South Sudan and the introduction of the arms embargo. The Council should not take credit for success of regional mediators who, by the way, were against additional sanctions imposed on the South Sudanese parties. We call on everyone to look at the facts. It is precisely the action of the arms embargo that has not allowed regional organizations to react in a flexible way in bolstering their own initiatives in the security sphere. We welcome the intention of the guarantors of the agreement to continue supporting implementation of peaceful agreements by providing national contingents of Sudan, Uganda, Djibouti, and Somali in the regional protection forces. This is a practical implementation of the principle of African solutions to African problems, as well as a possibility of an effective cooperation between the UN, its Security Council, and regional organizations. We'll be ready to examine substantive proposals regarding the regional protection force after these South Sudanese parties reach concrete agreements on security issues. The Russian delegation supports extending the mandate of the UN mission in South Sudan, and we're ready to work constructively on the text of the relevant resolution. Thank you very much.
Je remercie le représentant de la
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation